We're the heroes of the realm tonight, blazing swords and hearts alight. Monsters quake when we take a stand. We'll save the land with our own two hands. The Goblin King laughs from his iron throne, but his fear will grow when he's all alone. We've got courage in spades and the will to fight. This is our world, and we'll set it right.
All right. And here we are on the season finale of Ash and Steel, Tales from the Shelllands. Well, the party, for the most part, survived their penetration into the sewers. In kind of at the end of the episode, you guys have defeated the incubus and stopped Evie Spells' plans. Simon is no longer possessed. Lizzie is saved. I think Declan and Cypher, you guys are pretty beat up. And a lifeless.
Oh no, I'm still fine.
Tomahawk.
I'm
Well,
still fine.
Declan's the main character,
I'm
you
beat up.
know, plot arc. But a lifeless Tomahawk Scout is in your arms. He survived by just the immense magical power that was in the area. The first one shot of death to then be blown up by the fireball and put down again. You guys met up with the city guards who said they were going to clear out any runners that may still be there. So they sent a platoon or two into the sewers. And you are now in kind of the royal barrack, so to speak, kind of where the royal guards are in the palace. And you're sort of just waiting at the moment for the prince to see you, attend to you. You have a couple house attendants around you. You're sort of sitting in this common area. Tomahawk's body has been taken. They said they were going to clean it and kind of start the last rites and then allow you to take him home or whatever you want to do with the body after that. But yeah, you, Declan, Cypher, Lizzie are all sort of sitting in this common area. You've been given nice clothing, washed up a little bit, and food has just been brought to you. What are the two of you? Lizzie is kind of just sitting there quietly. Or I guess Simon's there too, I forgot. Simon hasn't been here for a lot of times, but he's there as well. What's going through Declan and Cypher's head at the moment?
I'm really upset that Tama died because before we left, I told everyone that I will make sure we all get out alive. And I have failed to keep another promise. The first one was not being able to keep Simon safe, even though he's back with us now. And the other one was to get everybody out alive. And that's mainly because our favorite scout on the group of Scouts Honor, which is Tomahawk Scout and not Declan, forgot to re-add his hardiness to to his character when our system crashed. But so Declan is really torn up that he's failed a second time in what he said he would do, and that's why he gave him to the guards, saying, "Can you do a resurrection to save this hero and honorable member, like true member of Scouts Honor?" So, what about you, Cypher?
Cypher is contemplating on giving up the life of adventuring. His entire upbringing was with the Dagonoths to fight and fight and fight until you have nothing left, and yet the entire fight he basically did nothing.
Well,
He
you did a
sat
lot of work
around,
up to it.
swung like nothing, and couldn't wield a weapon of the caliber that our beloved tomahawk was absolutely menacing with, and couldn't do one damage with it. He is a bit shambles that his friend that he's now grown accustomed to is dead. Whether the spell works or not, it's up to him now if he has the will to move forward.
And
Brother,
Lizzie,
are you really going to... Oh, go ahead.
no, I was gonna say, Lizzie would be sitting next to you, Declan, kind of with her head on your shoulder, and she'll kind of, at one point, kind of sit up a little bit and be like, "Do we know where Tomahawk was from?"
A tree? He never really talked about his past. I just know he loved trees.
Well, we should. I mean, I'm gonna ask if we're to see the prince, if they can persuade the church to try to bring Tomahawk back. But if we have to, if they can't, or it's something he won't, we should find the biggest tree we can and bury him under that.
That sounds reasonable. I think we should. Isn't there a big tree that he used to love by your house? Or your father's house?
Yeah, there was one there. We could bring him back there. He left. I
Spent
know
so
he's
much time in that tree.
Yeah, it's almost, there's like a little, I guess, a hammock at the top of it where he used to stay all the time. That would probably be a good spot.
I agree. What do you think, Cypher?
Definitely would be wise. I assume they'd let us. I think we should dig it ourselves for sure. We can at least give him that honor.
I agree. Simon?
And you look over at Simon Castor, and his head's down a little bit, and he's definitely been a lot quieter since this whole ordeal. And he sort of looks up at you guys, almost, with a face that says that he should be older, than he is. And he goes, "I'm not leaving the Shalelands. I am going to dedicate the rest of my life to destroying Evie spells."
I understand. I can help you with that. I know Tama wouldn't want that because he was in love with her, but she did kind of ruin your life, and then you did kind of blast Tomahawk.
And he sort of, you can see his eyes kind of well up with tears a little bit. And he goes, "I fought against that demon so hard when everything was happening. At first I didn't understand. It was like I was watching my life happen, and I was there. It didn't feel like I was moving my arms. When he had control of my body, I could just see it. I was trapped in like my own head. But then as time went by, and not too long ago, he, I don't know, let his guard down, or maybe I got stronger, and I could get moments of control. I left Lizzie the note, and I tried to make it obvious that I was in town so that maybe you guys would find me. And whatever magic was there, I just wasn't fast enough to take control back over. And that spell, that disintegrate ray, that I can still taste the evil, the vileness of the spells that I cast while I was under his control. And I don't think that'll ever go away until Evie is dead."
I understand. I don't blame you.
but I will miss Tomahawk. He may have been kind of mean to me sometimes, but he really was always there when I really needed him. He was really a good friend. I think his bullying was just kind of he just didn't really know how to show he cared for people.
He was a true tsundere in every definition of the word.
Yeah. I'm not leaving the Shelllands, even for a funeral of a friend, until Evie is dead. But if you guys come back and want to join me, we can hunt her down together.
Well, you are the leader of Scouts Honor, so I guess I will have to be by your side as we search. But I do also have other things to tend to, as I kind of like, with Lizzie's head on my shoulder, I just kind of like do a head pat.
Of course. I get that. And Cypher, will you go back to the Dagonoffs, or will you help me avenge Tomahawk?
Maybe we should wait and see what's going to happen with Mr. Tomahawk. I'll give you an answer then.
And he sort of just nods and kind of goes, back into himself a little bit as you guys are waiting.
So, brother, are you really going to think about quitting adventuring?
The reason why I started adventuring was to find you. As far as I'm concerned, I completed the only mission I had.
Well, then I shall continue on for the both of us. I will make sure that your name is remembered for everything you've done from this.
I'm going to take out the spear that you gave me.
Short spear. All right, I'm going to take it and just kind of hook it back to where it used to be on my back / belt.
Never really figured out how to use this, but
well, we could teach you. You don't have to be an adventurer, but you could still learn the way of the spear. You are a raven spear after all.
does make sense.
And you hear a quiet knock at the door as a chamberlain enters, and he goes, the royal family will see you now. Please follow me this way.
All right. Let's go, everybody.
And they take you, through the castle, through what seems to be a lot of the common areas, into kind of the general throne room, where, it's a almost 50-yard giant hallway, big pillars. This is kind of where the people meet and wait and ask their requests, or dignitaries come and the royal family greets them, and you actually kind of avoid the staircases up to the two thrones that are there. And they take you kind of into another hallway, another set of areas. It seems to be the royals' kind of personal suite. And you come to a very beautiful dining hall. And the far end are two humans, the prince and the princess. And the prince stands up and walks over to you and kind of meets you before you get to the table. And he goes, "These are the adventurers that I've heard so much about. Thank you. Welcome. I am Prince Walklin Royal." And he shakes your hand, and he's a little over 6 feet, blonde haired, kind of, almost down to his shoulders, kind of pulled back. He's wearing a very simple kind of silver circlet, these kind of bright blue eyes. And he's got a very nice, tone of voice, and shakes your guys' hand, very vigorously, very out of etiquette for someone you would think is royal. And he says, "Oh, please, my wife, Princess Emerald Royal." And she is shorter than him, probably about 5'4", dark black hair, kind of these green eyes, well-shaped. If I could take a 6th sense roll from Declan and Cypher.
success. Where are you? There we go. 16. Oh, look at Cypher dropping the critical success on a 13.
13.
But you critically succeeded. So
Yeah. So she walks over to
A
you, and
minus
she's
two.
wearing this beautiful gown of the royal colors, which is like a dark green and gold and silver. And she, puts her hand out, and you guys have like a formal greeting and everything. And Cypher, you go and kind of shake her hand lightly and have this moment. You look into her eyes, and for a split second, it was Eevee spells. But then you sort of blink, and you're like, there's no way. There's features that are similar. But this isn't Eevee. Her voice doesn't sound like that. The way she walks, nothing that this person, other than maybe having a similar physique. And all of you kind of for a moment think, well, it's probably a good thing Tomahawk's not here at the moment.
he would have noticed.
But
He would have been
yeah,
like, I know those knockers.
You for a split second thought that Eevee Spells was standing in front of you. And she looks at you and goes, wow, you're all so young for adventurers. I know that adventurers start young, but to have accomplished so much so quickly, it's beyond an honor to have you at our table. And she looks around and she goes, isn't the leader of the Adventurers Association supposed to be here? And the prince kind of rolls his eyes a little bit and says, oh yeah, old man, he'll probably be here the instant food is put out on the table. You know him. He can smell good food from a mile away. Ah, yes, he's a strange man. Please, sit, so we may talk and reward you for saving, from what we understand, the city and the Shale Lands itself. And they go and kind of take their respective chairs.
I'm gonna not stop staring at her this entire time.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to bother her or really. The prince definitely doesn't notice. But you make eye contact with her a few times over the course of all of this, and she just smiles politely at you.
Brother, it is rude to stare. It is not proper etiquette when you're meeting royalty.
And Cypher,
I'm
you
just
look
gonna not
over
say anything
at
and just stare.
Simon as everybody else is kind of making their ways to chairs, and there's a moment just slightly too long that Simon sort of has like this stricken face, and he doesn't move, and then he sort of collects himself again. It's as if maybe he noticed the same thing that you did, and he makes his way over to the table. He sits on the prince's side. Lizzie sits right next to the princess, and they sort of get lost in their own little conversation about things as the princess is complimenting Lizzie's hair and asking her how she likes the city. And they have both seemed to have done a little bit of background on you as citizens of the Shale Lands. And a few moments go by, and the prince looks at you and says, right, well, before we get into the feasting and maybe much merriment and celebration, I want to ask what the Alabaster City can do to reward such heroes. This goes above and beyond what the Adventurers Association would do, as I think that saving the city itself requires a royal reward. So first reward for all of you is you will be named part of my court. This will effectively give you all the title of squire and a small royal stipend every month for you to live off of. You may come as you want within the royal district and even within the royal palace, all of those areas that are non-restricted to anyone of my court. Any celebration we have, you are invited to, And if there is anything else that I can be of service, please, each of you may ask us something of us, and if it is within our power to grant, we will grant it.
I have a question, Your Highness. Your Highness is princess. When you made us members of your court, does that mean we have to continue to live in the Sharelands, or can we return to the King City?
You are more than welcome to return to the King City, and you will be a squire of Alabaster City within the King City as well. You might have slight restrictions, but he kind of smiles and goes, my uncle, the king, is a great man, and he will honor all of the proper proceedings that I do, and everything will be official. You will be a part of the royal court, and we'll have most of the same access in the King City that you would here. But you are, think of it, you are a local here, and so people will take your hero status into consideration more than they will in the King City. But the title of squire will still be your rank.
I appreciate that, Your Highness. And if I could, is there any way we could try to use a resurrection spell on our friend Tomahawk Scout?
And you see he sort of looks down and kind of knowing that this might be what was asked. And the princess sort of turns her attention a little bit more to this conversation. And he goes, I am not super knowledgeable about magics and the divine and the gods. I pay my homages, and we do have priests here in the castle. But I can talk with the high priests and see what that would require. And if it is something that I can give you, I shall. But off the top of my head and at this particular moment, I do not know if that is something that I can grant.
Greatly appreciated, Your Highness.
Of course. And right after that, the door opens up and Old Man Adventure walks in his same sort of camo shorts, tank top, very casual for meeting royalty. And he sort of walks around the room and sits down next to you, Declan. And he goes, look, it's Scout's Honor. It's good to see you kids. I heard you guys were running around in the Royal District for a while, and, I got reports of, after the guards and everything, that the runners were down there, and heard that you guys had saved the Sharelands and the city, and thought I should be present for when you guys receive your reward. Where are we at? What did we ask of the prince?
Right now, all we've asked is, can we live in the King City, or can we return to the King City as a member of the court, and if it's possible to resurrect our party member Tomahawk Scout.
Yes, resurrection. That is a steep request. And he sort of looks over at the prince. And goes, I don't know much of it myself. I've heard of it happening a few times, but it is, I think, a hefty toll. But we will get. I'll talk to the high priest as well. And he grabs like a big old turkey leg and just very uncouth is eating. He's very sloppy and not very formal. And he looks over and he goes, and he kind of leans into you, Declan, and he goes, is that all you guys want to ask for? He's like, I'm kind of trying to be your mediator here, loopholes and royals and stuff.
I don't really know what we should ask for. I mean, Tomahawk would have wanted stuff, but he's not here.
Yeah.
And my brother doesn't really ask for anything. Maybe something nice for Lizzie, but if we're getting like a courtship, then I can take care of her, you know. So I don't really know. What should we ask for?
Yeah, he kind of sits there, takes a bite of like a meat pie. He goes, well, Prince Walking, I think, if I may talk for these young kids and these heroes, I should say, at this table, you've given them a rank in court, and I suspect, and he sort of nods. That's right. They want their friend back. That's to be expected. But sometimes a hero's life is fulfilled after a sacrifice that he took. Nonetheless, we can always try. Why don't we give them... Like looks around at the four of you. Squires, all of you. I think maybe just, what? 5,000 gold pieces each?
That is
Part of their reward?
That is a lot of money.
And the prince kind of looks up and smiles and says, that reward I can grant. For without the Alabaster City and the Shale Lands, there would be no money in the royal court. So whether it makes a dent or not, I think 5,000 gold pieces for each of you is acceptable. And then the old man sits down and he goes, remember to donate to the Adventure Association sometime, And he just gets...
Are you also going to try to get Tama his money, just in case he comes back?
And he kind of winks at you. And he goes, well, I think this is all the royal charade that I can put up with today. Thanks for the food, highnesses. And he just kind of walks out the door, being there for a total of 5 minutes or so.
He is quite the character.
Yes. He says he doesn't like politics, but that man knows more about the ongoings of every person in this city than I have ever heard before. And I truly think he gets a pleasure from being quite a little pain in my butt, to be honest with you.
I know the type.
Well, and you can see the servants all kind of pour you guys a glass of wine. And he says, I promised that I would look into seeing if bringing your friend back could be something that we could do. But to honor his sacrifice, the valiant effort of all of you heroes, I would like to raise a toast.
I raise my glass.
He's like, to the Alabaster City, to the Shale Lands, to our valiant heroes, forever may they be protected by the gods, and forever may their swords and spears be sharp and their spells be beautiful. To you, my friends.
To you. Or to us. To something.
He goes, well, let us celebrate this feast, and I would like to learn about each of you, my new squires. And so the rest of the kind of dinner goes. Lizzie and the princess sort of become really good friends, and you guys just talk to the prince. The prince, before you leave, tells you it may be a few days before they know about Tomahawk, and he will keep his body, here, kind of in the royal, effectively medical wing, the royal hospital, until they know more. So a few days do pass. Do you guys do anything in particular over the course of a few days?
Rot.
Would probably speak with my brother and Simon about what me and him saw.
What they saw, yeah, and I'll give my feedback on whatever I think.
Yeah, so you guys sort of just, over the next couple days, sort of regroup, and between the three of you get kind of a little bit more of a clear picture of what Evie spells was trying to do is Simon was kind of conscious and did pick up a lot of things. And what future Simon obviously went through, the demon war and all of those things, your Simon does back up. He says that there are not too many high-powered demons in the Shalelands. The Incubus was kind of her lieutenant, so to speak. But they had plans to bring more over until they could unlock the Shalelands and pretty much open a giant portal to the Hells and bring the demon army through. But you stop that. How long? Simon's unsure. Although he is pretty confident that the only way to open the Shalelands is from that ritual. So as long as the, palace guards and everything kind of keep it under lock and key, then there should be no way for her to actually get access to it. But a few days later, a messenger from the royal family asks you to accompany the prince and princess in the royal manor.
Well, of course we're going to accept. Could be considered treason not to accept. So we're going to go.
Yeah,
Would I be able to have a conversation with Simon and my brother before we made it? Before this, before we're brought back? Yeah, before we're summoned.
Yeah, sometime in between, we'll say 3 days before they summon you again. So yeah.
So, Simon, did you see what I saw? You gave me a look when we met.
Oh, princess.
The princess.
For a moment when I first caught her eyes, when she got close to me, I saw Evie.
You're sure, right? Because it couldn't have been anything but her. I don't see how it couldn't have been.
I mean, she
know.
looks similar, but I didn't see Evie.
Yeah, her voice.
When she touched you, what did you feel?
She touched me.
I saw her clear as
Sure,
day.
man. I think it was her smile. Something about the way her face shaped when she looked at me that first time. It was as if she had looked at me 100 times before. And she does look like Evie, but she doesn't, her voice and her mannerisms and the way she talks is so different that by the time dinner was done, I didn't even think about that anymore. But now that you bring it up, I don't know. I mean, I guess she could be related, but I don't know, Cypher. I'm not sure. Prince-
Maybe I'll have to pay close attention to her next time I see her.
Brother, I don't know how to tell you this, but if she's alone or she's unguarded, and if there's even an inkling, I'm gonna attack her.
High treason. Okay. Well, you're my brother, so I'd have to protect you at all costs.
You don't have to at this point, but I'm telling you right now, what me and Simon saw, I want to hang it all up, brother, but if it's ending Evie, and if this is Evie and it's our one shot, I don't see how we can't take this opportunity. I can't shake the feeling that I'm right.
Hold on. Quick question. You said it was 3 days, right? So we can do 3 days of rest?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys are, probably on fine. And Simon looks at you, Cypher, and he goes, well, I agree with you that if the princess is Evie spells or is connected to her in some way, it needs to be taken care of. But this is princess. This is the royal family. Let's not
wouldn't the
hasten.
royal family want to be connected or not be connected with something like this, right?
Yes,
So we have to figure out a way to really see them.
but
How did she get, when she took you, we were all knocked unconscious and she put a spell over you and then you were gone. Do you remember anything of that spell, of what happened the moments before, or even maybe if you had any awakenings in your conscious during it?
So when we went into that crypt, obviously me and Evie were looking at all the sarcophagi, the tombstones, and trying to piece together who these people were and all of these things. And when you guys went into that last room, I think she cast a compulsion spell on me at first. And then I fell asleep when she cast the sleep spell. And when I woke up next, it was during the ritual to become possessed. So I don't remember too much in between that. At least the things I do remember are not... I remember waking up and kind of being in a chamber and things like that. It was nothing really helpful. But then after I was possessed, I remember most of what happened. There were a few times that I think either my mind is blocking it because it was something horrible that I did, and he kind of stutters through those words. Yeah, it wasn't me, but it was me. Anyway, if Evie had a lot of pieces in this city, a lot of people that were friends of hers, whether through compulsion or spells or not. So if this princess is connected to her in some way, maybe I can figure out a way to break it without causing too much attention to ourselves. As much as I would like to end this here, Evie is more powerful than us. So let's get through this tomahawk ordeal. You guys, if you can't bring him back, and it's understandable, that is a very high cost. Go back to the King City and bury our friend, and I will work at making connections and everything here to find out as much as I can about the princess and even more about Evie spells, and we can combat her going forward. We can find her and we can end this thing. I don't think it's going to be today or tomorrow, but we will do it. I worry that if we make a move on the princess, we lose too much advantage. Really, we at ground zero and nowhere to go. I think that's very dangerous going forward. But if she does something, and it is Evie, I'm right there with you, Cypher.
This is gonna sound strange, but we have to will Tomahawk back. He would know. I know that you don't remember, and I know what I saw is what I saw. I have a feeling that if Tomahawk, even one eye, was laid on her, he would know.
I believe so too, brother. Tama would talk about her nonstop at night. I learned things I did not know.
I'm gonna cast the spell Worship, and I'm just gonna pray to Naga to see if he can will the fighter that he was and the way he died, Naga would be eternally grateful for a fighter of his caliber's death, and would hopefully be his honor to grant upon him a second chance at continuing his fighter's will on this earth. So I'm going to spend the next 10 minutes praying to Naga to see if he can touch Tomahawk's heart, to see if he can bring him back.
Okay.
Can I do the same thing? Because I have this, I have worship as well, but
Yeah.
to Valkyrie.
Yeah, definitely. You guys kind of pray to the gods. And then, fast forward maybe a day or so, you get the summons. You actually meet with just the prince in kind of a garden. And he sees you, and he's a little bit more casual. Obviously, his clothing is very finely made, but it's just kind of trousers and a shirt. And he goes, "Ah, yes, Declan, Cypher, Simon, it's good to see you. Please come this way. I needed some fresh air. It's been a long day. Being the prince, I know that sounds ostentatious, but there's a lot of things that people take for granted. And yes, I rule over the city, but it is stressful. I have to sometimes make decisions that are against what I want. But sorry, I'm going on. I apologize. I called you here because I talked to the high priest and asked them what the cost of trying to bring a hero back from the dead would be. And I am quite surprised, but it is not as great as I had anticipated. Now, they asked, it is not something they do often. For it, the materials and the components and the ritual itself is exhausting, but they are willing to commune with Tomahawk Scout to see if his spirit will come back.
I appreciate that.
Yes.
It would mean the world to us.
So, his body will be transferred to the cathedral today, and tomorrow, around, what did he say, dawn. So, early in the morning, the high priest will commune with the spirit of Tomahawk Scout. You are invited. He said that as friends, you may go and pray with the Father. And though I don't think you will be able to communicate with Tomahawk, I think that maybe your prayers could be heard by the boy. And it might influence, I guess, the powers that be.
That would be great.
By the way, did we get did we get paid already or anything?
Oh yeah,
Not
you
like
left.
asking him
No, you left with those purses
with the
of money. Yeah, oh yeah.
So would we have had the money for those 3 days?
Mhm.
Okay.
You're like, I'm buying a shit ton of shit.
There's like stuff in town? Is there a place where you can buy like?
You can basically buy anything in the book.
Yeah.
He gave us
Okay.
5,000 gold pieces, and stuff is paid in silver, and a gold piece is 100 silver. We can
we
buy
rich,
magic. We can
Are
buy.
we bougie rich?
You guys can pretty much retire and probably not have to live above poverty level and never have to work or do anything again.
Yeah, and we can literally take our already magical weapons and make them magical weapons, so they're like +5. Like we can literally be insane. But we did adventures. Now, question: Did we get did doing the elementals count as an adventure?
No.
No. So just this part counted as an adventure, right? So we would be
Yes.
at 9 and 9. We would get our 13 or cumulative 13,500. We didn't get any bonus face points because we failed at 12. All right, perfect. That's what I like to see. And then I can actually increase my priest level.
But
How many ability points did we get?
We would get
Enhancements
another.
again?
We would get another 1,000. Cumulative will be at 13,500. We'd get another advance points 3.
We get 3.
Yeah, but I'd have to see what. I'd have to look at the book to see what we would be at if we were at 1,300. If it like gives us
No, we would miss it. I think it's 14 something.
no, it's
I'll look around here.
because we're adventure level 6, right?
It's
I think so.
The next rank would be 16,000 is the next rank for adventure level.
I don't even see my adventure level anywhere on the sheet. It's too confusing.
222.
No, I mean my book's on in the complete opposite side of the house. I mean on my sheet. I don't know where I put it, so I don't know where we are.
Yeah, I don't think
We have 8 adventures, 8 completed, so we'd add 1 to that, so it'd be 9 and 9.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but we would have a level like an adventure level, so we might even get more points. But I don't know when that level up is.
The adventure level, the cumulative experience for level 5 is 16,000.
Oh,
We're
okay.
at current level 4 with plus 11,000. So we wouldn't go up.
But
Okay.
going back to being in the garden with the prince, and he's kind of telling
Sorry.
you, hey, no, you're good. You can go to the ritual. He's going to speak with the spirit before he casts the spell. And he kind of sees something about sometimes spirits don't want to come back. And so it is smarter that he converse with the spirit and see the likeliness that the spell would succeed in the way of your friend coming back before they put in the effort for the spell. But I will cover the cost of both of those things if that is the route that Tomahawk wishes. But if that is not the case, then I will make sure that you get your friend to wherever you wish to bury him, and we will make sure that you have a royal procession the entire way.
Okay.
And again, thank you for saving the city and the Sharelands. You are forever heroes in Alabaster City and are always welcome at my table anytime you are in town.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
And he sent you guys off. Do you do anything before the next day for the ritual?
Do I do anything before? Well, I gained a new level in priest and took minor heal.
Okay.
Even though the campaign is like over, but hey, might as well. And I just kind of spend the night with Lizzie, kind of asking her questions about what she thought of the princess, because she seemed to be making friends. Maybe like I could learn something from her that possibly could have been a clue to it being Evie.
Yeah, you don't get too much information. She says a lot of what they talked about is just kind of gossip and fashion and things that Lizzie likes. She asked she asked a lot of questions at Lizzie to learn about Lizzie. But she tells you a few things, and it sort of is all court rumors and tea and things like that. That the princess is actually from a completely different nation, kind of across the sea a little ways, and she's very much a foreigner to Alabaster City and even the King City in their kind of domain of rule.
Do we know if Evie was a foreigner?
Oh yeah, you suspect that Evie was also a foreigner
Okay.
as well.
Okay. More suspicious. Okay.
But the night happens. You guys wake up early and you head to the cathedral, and you are invited into kind of a back private ceremony room. Tomahawk's body is laying kind of on this bed. They seem to have dressed him in kind of a nice set of just plain clothing. And the high priest is there with about 4 or 5 other acolytes, and he goes, you are the friends of our young hero here.
Yes.
Yes. Well, I am unsure of what the prince has told you, but before I cast a resurrection, I like to commune with the spirit. And just to make sure that the spirit wants to come back, for they can resist the resurrection. And the toll that it will take on that caster is unpleasant for a long time. So, to ensure that we don't have a mishap, we just like to commune with the spirit first. It will appear as if nothing is happening, but I am and will be in communication with your friend. Is there anything in particular you would like me to say?
Cypher, you got one? Something? You need him back
Mr.
alive? For your...
Mr. Tomahawk, I don't know how to express the need for you to be with us, not just for us as a team. Scout's honor is a wonderful thing, but the world that has surrounded us and that has been a part of our journey and everything, every time that you've met another person, the rooms have lit up. My words can't express what you've taught me, what you've taught others around you. Your nonchalant, just way of life is something that we should actually strive for. And I don't know how to ask this, but if you can hear my voice, please come back. The world needs more you, more than I, more than my brother, more than pretty much anyone I've met. It would be a disservice if I didn't at least ask for even just one more day. Hell, I'll even take an hour, to be honest with you. Please search in your soul to come back. Please.
All right, I'll go. Tama, if you can hear me, it's Declan. You've taught me many things, like that women can ruin your life. Don't get ruined by their milkers. I still don't know what that means, but I am trying to figure it out. You taught me the joy of trees, and I will make sure to climb one as soon as I can. You taught me so much, and it wouldn't be the same without you. I'm going to ask Lizzie to marry me, and I wish you were there to be with me at my wedding. I will have my first drink of alcohol with you if you come back. I will do everything in my power to make sure this never happens to you again. You're one of my best friends. I got a brother, a best friend, and then a future brother-in-law who did the wrong things because he also was entranced by those milkers, as you so call them. So I need you to come back. I can't be who I am without you. That's it. That's all I got.
The priest kind of looks over at you all and says, well, I was just going to relay a message of if you really wanted him to come back. But I will
please come back.
do my best to impart your feelings on the matter to him. You are more than welcome to pray. And he sort of points to a couple pews that are in the room as well. But we do require some silence as we cast this ritual. And they sort of light some candles and start casting. And, the camera sort of flips over to Tomahawk. You are kind of standing in a very nondescript room. This giant, circular room, and it has chairs all around it. And all of a sudden you sort of blink, and most of these chairs are filled with sort of nondescript humanoid figures. Their voices sort of change. You can tell one might be feminine, one might be masculine. Their forms change a little bit as well. And they all sort of talk kind of almost in unison and a little echo. And you hear, Tomahawk Scout, welcome to the entrance to the dead. It is rare that we have one that we stop from going down the halls of the dead to the river of the dead and on to the afterlife. But there are many voices, powerful voices, who are calling your name in prayer. And so now you stand here to be judged by the gods as to why do they call for you so loud? We know your past. We know your future. It ended in quite a heroic way to the world below. But again, when voices ring this loud, we are curious by nature and would like to hear from you of your life. And it gets eerily quiet as you feel the eyes of all of these beings on you.
I think for a second, Tomahawk is just really quiet and just, as opposed to speaking it, he just kind of envisions portions of his own life. He goes back to the adventures with Scouts Honor in the Shale Lands, killing bees, to flashes of EV spells where the camera is basically just focused entirely on her bust. And then it flashes back even further. And I think it flashes to a dark room, almost cavernous, and a very young Tomahawk Scout, probably like 13, comes into focus. And there are several much taller dark elves kind of surrounding him, and just on the table in front of him, kind of strapped down in leather straps, is a dark elf woman. And there is a you can see a knife in Tomahawk's hand. And somebody in the vision, some obscured form might say something like, "Go ahead. Find your brother. Ask her where she is. Ask her where he is, sorry." And Tomahawk just kind of walks up to the side of the table and just says, "Mom, please, don't, just tell them what they want to know. Don't make me do this. They're going to make me do it. Don't let them make me do it." And there's just like tears that come out of the woman's eyes, and she just kind of shakes her head, and one of the like shadowy forms in the background just kind of like grabs Tomahawk's hand and just like forces the knife up underneath one of her fingernails and just pries it up. And the woman on the table just kind of like squirms and groans. And then I just imagine the view kind of just like fades out a little bit as it's clear what is going on. And then it just kind of fades into a point where Tomahawk sneaks back into that room where the woman is there, bloodied and cut up. And the rest of the room is kind of empty. And Tomahawk just goes in, cuts the bonds, and says, "Mom, go. You got to get out of here. Go. Don't let them do this to you again. Please, you got to go." And I think she just stands up, and an arrow just comes flying from the other side of the room and sticks straight in her back as she slumps over on Tomahawk. And her last words are, "Run." And so Tomahawk does. He runs and runs and runs through the caves, up onto the top world. And the sounds of people chasing are right behind him, and he looks around and he sees a tree and climbs up and hides for days. And then the vision just kind of fades back out. And then Tomahawk finally speaks, and he's just like, "After all that I've done, I think I've lived enough. I'd rather be. I want to see my mom."
And you feel a hand kind of touch you on the shoulder, and you look up, and it's an unfamiliar figure, but he's dressed in priestly robes. He's got a gentle, inviting smile, and you can kind of see a tear in his eye, and he says, "I was sent here by your friends, Tomahawk, to see if you would come back to the material plane to inhabit your body once more. They miss you, and they want you to return. The royals, the prince and the princess of Alabaster City, have granted me the ability to, well, bring you back. They will absorb the cost, so to speak, a hefty donation to the church. But I did not mean to intrude," and he sort of looks around awestruck. "I've only read about this place, and I witnessed what you have just told them and your intentions. And if that is what you wish, I will respect that, and we will not bring you back to life. For I see in your heart a good person. The world will lose a good heart. But I do not want to force that upon you." And he's crying.
Tomahawk will just put his hand back on his shoulder and just say, "I appreciate what you're trying to do. I really do. Just
tell Cypher and Declan that I've lived a full life, however short it was, and that I love them as brothers.
Is there any way we can force ourselves into this world?
And for a moment there, as all this happens, you start to hear voices. This would have been Declan and Cypher the other day when you cast worship and prayed to Tomahawk. What was that prayer? Because Tomahawk will now hear that.
What was the prayer?
Or, I mean, if you want to say what you said to the priest
Yeah.
was that prayer, that's
Yeah,
fine too.
yeah, basically.
Okay.
And then be like, I can't do this without you. I still need you. I still need your guidance. You know, you're a good man, no matter what your past happened, or no matter what happened in your past.
I would have probably, since I guess he's hearing the end of the worship, I probably would have said towards the end, Tomahawk, she's here. EV Spells is here. She's masquerading. She's hiding in plain sight. She's gonna attack again. We're not gonna survive it this time. She's infiltrated as a high princess. She has her grasp on the king.
Prince.
I don't know how to tell you. I don't know how to say it. But without you, the fate of everything is on it right now. I don't know if you can hear me or if you've chosen to not come back. But please, all of our lives are at stake. Please come back. And that would be the end of my 10-minute worship.
Yeah, and the room, Tomahawk, that you're standing in is kind of filled with these two prayers. And even the priest looks somewhat surprised. And he looks down at you, Tomahawk, and he goes, "May I accompany you to the river to talk with you? For it seems these two boys cared for you greatly, and it would be an honor to learn of your good heart before you stepped onto the river and passed into the afterlife. And if there is anything you would like me to tell those boys, I will impart your message."
Yeah. Let's go to the river. I honestly thought this would be a lot brighter and more gold.
The gods don't need much in material, and you see a door opens, and the priest sort of guides you, friendly that way, as he seems somewhat familiar with the halls of the dead. And what kind of message does he impart to Declan and Cypher and Simon from you?
Peace out, bitches.
Tomahawk would basically tell the priest,
Those two are stronger than they know. I've seen it. They don't need me.
Yes, we do.
I know that it's scary. I would be too. Just tell them that I finally found my mom. And that I'm not ready to lose her again. But they can be strong so long as they hold together. They can overcome almost anything. The only thing that I would say is that make sure you don't let a good pair of boobs come between you, because they'll ruin your life.
Come on,
Uh,
Tama.
He says
Priest.
that to the priest.
Yeah, and the priest nods. And yeah, you get to the edge of this dock. You're not really sure how long you've been walking, and there is a boat with a ferryman, and it's sort of the scene is kind of just a sunset on a ever expanding body of water. It is not too. There's not much rapids. There's a slight current heading into the sunset. But that is it. And the priest says, well, Tomahawk, if you
Too bad,
step
so sad.
on
No.
if you step on that boat now, I cannot bring you back.
Don't do it, Tama.
Do it, Tama.
Just give him a
Don't do
nod.
it. Come back. I'll be your
Do it,
mommy.
Tama. I
Just
guess
hold
Naga would be
Tomahawk.
like, go.
Tomahawk would just hold out his hand and shake the priest and just say,
Thank you. I'm not sure I would have been able to say goodbye to those two without you.
and he'll step on the boat.
And then
No.
priest will watch the boat drift off a little bit. Back at in the cathedral, maybe a minute has gone by for you guys, and the kind of low kind of chanting ends, and the priest sort of kind of snaps back to, and tears are running down his eyes, and he looks down at Tomahawk, and he does a little kind of blessing over his body, and he looks up at the two of you, and he goes, "Your friend here was wise beyond his years, and he was ready to go. I am sorry to tell you, but his spirit has gone on beyond where I can bring it back. But before he left, he imparted me a few things for you. He says that you are strong. Together you are stronger. You can overcome any obstacle." And you can see his cheeks get a little red, and he gets a little embarrassed almost. And he says, he also says, "Don't let a good pair of tits come between you."
You would say that.
But he is ready to go. He found his mother and wishes to stay with her in the afterlife.
Right. As I break down in tears.
I'll come up behind my brother. Naga has gained a fine warrior.
Yeah. I understand.
And
But
Simon,
if only.
sorry, you were saying?
Oh no, I was just saying, but if only like
Oh.
he came back, you know.
Simon walks over to Tomahawk's body. He's crying, and he just one last real good fist to the face. And just, "You're a jerk." And then he backs off, and he just leaves the cathedral. And the priest looks up and says, "We will," right in the face.
He punched Thomas'
punched him in
dead
the
body.
face.
Oh,
Called him a jerk, turned around and walked away.
How
And
funny would it be if
I'm gonna
the
walk
punch
up to his
rested?
body. I'm gonna walk up to his body. I'm actually gonna take out my my makeup box and kind of patch up where he just hit, kind of bring it back to his dark color skin instead of maybe the pink that might be, or the lack thereof color that might have been even more brushed off.
And the priest sort of stops you and he says, "Do not worry. We will make his body suitable for a funeral. and we will talk with the prince. And when you wish to leave, to depart, or take him wherever his final resting place will be, we will make sure he is ready to go. But for now, we will hold him here until that decision is made.
All right. So now we go to the prince, I guess. No.
Well,
Maybe?
the priest will let the prince know. So we'll kind of
Oh, okay.
fast track through a little bit here. Is all those preparations are made. You guys want to go to the King City. Simon does not go with you, but you head back to the Castor Manor to bury Tomahawk kind of on this hill where this tree that he used to hang out in, pretty much slept in, was kind of his home. Anytime he would stay, and you guys would adventure together there. It is a small funeral. It is the Castors, it is you, it is maybe a couple people from town that he knew, but it is not a funeral for a hero or royalty or anything like that. And what as we we'll kind of say that's sort of the ending of your guys' adventures together. Going forward, what in like a minute or two, what would Declan and Cypher kind of be doing for kind of the foreseeable future, or where their minds set to go from here? And we'll kind of finish up the episode.
So I can go first. He's definitely going to propose to Lizzie. He is going to learn the way of the tomahawk as well, in honor of his fallen friend. He's going to still go on adventures, and he's going to keep an eye out trying to hear anything about Lizzie. He never takes adventures longer than 3 days, so he can always be back with or did I said Evie, right? Or did I say Lizzie? I said looking for Evie, right?
I think so.
So
You know what you meant.
Okay. Yeah. So looking for Evie, but he never goes longer than 3 days adventures because he's always wants to get back to Lizzie. And then he's going to open a kind of like an adventure school to teach like how to be an adventurer. That's it.
Okay.
That's all I got.
Cypher, where does Cypher's life lead after this?
After seeing what he saw during that meetup, and understanding that if he were to give up being an adventurer, he actually wouldn't be able to go home. Coming back a coward is worse than death. After he's realized that, he's taken his wealth and he's actually bought a home in Alabaster to make sure to keep an eye out. He takes adventures. Maybe he sees his brother every so often, but he's actually going to stay in Alabaster until hopefully he figures out if it was her, where she is, and will continue to go with his brother if he continues to look for her.
Nice. And I think Simon and Cypher sort of team up on these adventures and have a little like duo group sort of thing, as you guys are sort of both keeping an eye on the princess and keeping an ear out for Evie Spells' return. So he, but as the time goes, Simon sort of loses his childlike nature. He sort of came out of all of this changed, very even different from the future Simon you met, because the future Simon was still sort of awkward and shy and things, where this Simon seems a little bit more determined and focused on the mission at hand kind of thing. But yeah, that's sort of where we end this first season of Ash and Steel. And we will return sometime in the future with different characters to maybe tell a different tale from the Shelllands.
Dun, dun, dun.